here. That's not cool. Now, bonjour, bonjour, and bonjour. I can see a lot of names here appearing. Hello, everybody. I can't. So, some of you, I don't know your names. You appear as a what do you call them? YouTube names. So, cheer up for science. Cheer up for science. Bonjour. Bonjour. Well, thank you, Bisou, and thank you. I'm not sure. You should see me in the morning. I'm not that pretty. Probendo Canal, bonjour. Bonjour, Arthur Robinson, Bernardo, bonjour. Roy Harding, bonjour. Bonjour. I'm not sure whether there is a delay, and I'm not sure how you hear me or if you can see me well. I don't know. It's a first for me. So we are really trying out today and hoping that it will be the first of many hangouts. And so what I decided to do, and because it was my first time doing a hangout live, and we are here in London, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not sure where you live, but I thought you could ask me some questions and anything to do with French or else, it doesn't matter. We're hanging out for 45 minutes now, and I just thought that it would be lovely to talk to my listeners. Before I start, I'm going to show you something that we have received here at Learn French with Alexa. We have received an award, and here we go. And this is what I have on my wall now. And we have a silver button for going over 100,000 subscribers at Learn French with Alexa, which we did quite a few months ago, but I'm just so proud. Anyway, so that's it. We've got, oh my gosh, here many now. We've got lots of people. Oh, bye, Arthur, must go to work. Désolé, je dois aller travailler. Arthur, speak to you later. Bye, au revoir. And hello, Roy. Bonjour, Roy. Bonjour, Bernardo. Bonjour, Ivan. From Brazil. Bonjour au Brésil. Et bonjour au Luxembourg aussi. Marshall. Bonjour from Bermuda. Wow. Well, bonjour here from London or Londres. It's good to see that I have many people here. Now, do you have a question for me? Or would you like to do something else? I don't know. I could read you a text and you could try to listen to me, answer some of the questions, which I thought we could do a little listening exercise. Otherwise, please fire away your questions. I'm very happy to. At Turkey, bonjour Turkey, ou la Turkey from Bisou. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name right, but bonjour tout le monde. If you have any questions, please ask away, otherwise I can do a little lesson for you on whatever. Israel, bonjour from London, bonjour à l'Israël. All these countries, I cannot believe. Mexico, hooray! It's unbelievable. So wow. Okay. Manchester. Bonjour from Manchester. Bonjour to Manchester, Manchester. So you're obviously on the same timeline that I am here in London. So that's amazing. So many people. Please ask a question, otherwise I'll have to put you into a listening exercise, which maybe you don't want to do, or do you? Depends what time it is in your, country. And is it morning? I don't quite understand your question, Bisou. You say C like J or G. Tu parles l'espagnol? Non, je ne parle pas l'espagnol. Par contre, mon papa est italien. My dad is Italian. Not that I speak Italian. Je ne parle pas italien non plus. Okay, I have a question from Bernardo. I'm not sure it's related to French. He says, I'd like to know more about you, teacher. How did you start learning English? Which language would you consider more difficult to learn, either English or French? Wow, okay, that's a tough one. Oh, hello, Cambridgeshire, from Jackie. Bonjour, Jackie. Now, what is more difficult, English or French? That's a tough one to answer. Now, I've been learning, still learning actually, how to speak English, but I started about 25 years ago to speak English. And because I've been teaching French for 22 years or so, to tell you my age, but I still have my teeth. Anyway, I've been teaching for so long, I have noticed something, that though French is very difficult, English I find more difficult. Now you're going to say, but that's not true. French is really hard to actually learn, but it's not that hard when you know how to apply the rules properly. Okay, so in effect, it's a very I find that English is very, would I say, descriptive. It means that it changes through time. Because I've been learning it for 25 years, I find that you can distort English. I find that you can invent words, and that's okay. In France, you can't do that as much. And because you cannot do that, it's easier to learn. So you apply the rules. We've got a set of different tenses in French that if you know them, well, you'd be pretty much, fluent after about a year of speaking it, and using those tenses. People will understand what you're saying. While in English, well, it's hard. It has two and a half more. Can I say that? 2 times more words in English than we have in French, which means that for me and for all of you out there who do not speak, who English is your second language, it's going to be really hard to learn. In France, we don't have as many words. However, we tend to describe the situation. I'm going to give you an example. The word bully. So here we have the word bully. So you say, well, he's a bully at school. I know this bully and he's not nice. Well, in French, we do not have this word. The word bully does not exist, okay? So you're going to say, well, what do you say then instead, okay, of the word bully? Well, you use the situation and you describe it. Okay, so it can be different types of bullying, if you wish. So you could see, well, this one is not nice. It keeps telling me bad words, or it keeps swearing at me. This one keeps pushing me, or this one keeps calling me names, or whatever. Yeah, and this is the way you would use the word bully. Okay, so in effect, we don't have one. And I had this discussion with a friend the other day, and I thought, well, does it mean that we have no concept of what a bully is as such? Does it mean that we actually interpret that as different types of behavior? Okay, and that's what I find interesting in English, is that you have words to mean exactly what it means. Okay, I can think of one word actually, the word cheap, as in, this is really cheap. Okay, well, guess what? In French, we don't have such a word. So we are going to say, this is not expensive. Okay, so that's why I think that English is quite tough to learn, because it has more words, more idioms, more distorted words that you have in French. And in French, like I say, if you learn your rules properly, okay, then you would, I think, master the language in a very accurate fashion. Now, does this answer your question, Bernardo? Just let me know, okay? And meanwhile, hello to Qatar, Farouk. Bonjour, Farouk. And And we have United States, Massachusetts. Massachusetts, do I say that properly? Hello from Springfield, Massachusetts. Hello. Okay, Bernardo say yes, it answers this question. Excellent, I'm really happy. Okay, another questions I have from Cheer Up for Science says, I have a question about your online lessons. After the first 45 lessons, what level would you likely be? Would you be an A1 or A2? Well, okay. Now, for the people out there listening and who do not know what Cheer Up for Science, I wish I knew your name so I could refer to you as a person. Now, what this lady or man, I can't see much. I think it's a lady. It's saying it's a lady. Yeah.
Rachel.
Rachel. How do you know that?
Says everything.
My name is Rachel. Hi, Rachel. Hello. Now, Rachel is asking, actually, when you finish the 45 lessons on my online course, what level will you reach? I can assure you that it won't be A2 level. Now, to give you an idea for everybody listening out there, we have from the DELF, if you base yourself on the what does DELF means, Adam? We have.
Framework.
Pardon?
It's the European framework.
The European framework in languages. Okay, when you take an exam, especially when you want to take an exam to go to Canada, for example, or you have to have a certain level of French. Okay, you need to have of B1, B2 level. Okay, now A1 is the complete beginners. Now A2 is not quite beginner, but you're not quite there. When you reach B1 and B2 level, you are of intermediate level. You get on quite well. B2, you're becoming quite proficient. And C1 and C2, it's really good, proficiency level. Now, Rachel, to answer your question, if you manage my 45 lessons audio and all the materials there is, or they are out there on my website, you should reach a very confident B2 to C1 level. Some of the material actually in the last 10 lessons are so hard that it would be of C2 level. Even my pupils here in London, conversation classes where we speak French all the time, would be actually struggling with some of the text in the last 10 lessons. So I would say no, B2 and some of them touching on C1, C2 level. Does this answer your question, Rachel? I'm waiting. Okay, I've got Botsu has a question as well. I'm going to try to answer as many as I can. Okay, so bear with me. Oh my gosh, they're all coming and okay, wait. Okay, yes, why? Okay, Rachel says yes. I had no idea there were such comprehensive lessons. Really glad I subscribed now. We will, Rachel. We will, actually, this is something Adam and I have, by the way, Adam is my business partner. He's working here with me in Learn French with Alexa. Do you want, no, he doesn't want to come. That would be good for people to see you. Anyway, by the way, Rachel, we are thinking of adding a page to our website where you will be able to see a whole descriptive of each lesson, as in what is this that you have inside each lesson. Some of them actually, up to the lesson 35 upwards, are long. They are about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes long, and you have sometimes, much longer lessons because of the add-on of audio lessons, the dictations, the subjects of the week, the etc. etc. Now someone is asking about the subjects of the week, I think here. Adam, can you see a question for me here?
Roy Harding?
Roy Harding, I would like to know, in your earlier audios you seem to put the emphasis at the end of numbers 12, but when people talk, they drop the last letter of deux. Okay, what does it mean? Wait a minute. In earlier audio, you seem to put the emphasis of the number 12, but when, for example, 12, but when people talk, they drop the last letters of two.
The last one or two letters.
Oh, the last one. Okay. Well, Roy, I'm going to answer these questions. When I teach, je parle comme ça. Quand je donne des leçons de français, je parle doucement et je ne parle pas rapidement. Donc, lorsque je vais prononcer les chiffres, les numéros, je les prononce en articulant. Par exemple, je vais dire 12 pour que toi, tu entendes qu'il y a un Z à la fin du mot. Tu comprends? Okay, so it's quite simple. I am going to articulate every word so you can hear, okay? But you have a point, Roy. When you speak to a proper, not I am a proper person, French person, but when you talk to some real French, if you want, in France, okay, we actually omit a lot of these letters, okay, because we know, for example, the one that I have in my mind is when you say je ne suis pas, I am not. We don't tend to say that at all. We say je suis pas. Okay, so we drop the N-E completely, and as long as the pas is here, we know it's a negation. So we say je suis pas, and we would do the same with je n'ai pas, I have not, and instead of saying je n'ai pas, j'ai pas. Okay, another one that pops in my head is je ne sais pas, I do not know, je ne sais pas. Well, we would say je sais pas. Okay, so I tend to emphasize a lot on words and the ending, so you hear it, so you're aware that it's there. Okay, but French people are not really kind to, non-French speakers, and will go for it, and they will speak very quickly. Okay, so what is Roy talking to Adam? Okay, Roy is saying, what is Roy saying, Adam?
Do the next question.
Okay, next question. So I really want Adam to come here so you can see him. What? Where are we?
Lily oil paint.
Lily oil paint questions. What does faconnable mean and how is it used? I don't know. What is faconnable? Okay, now I'm going to show you something. I have my telephone here. Okay, and on my phone I have an app called Word Reference. I don't know if you see it. Can they see it? Where is it? Here. Can you see Word Reference here? Yeah? Okay. This is my God's saving, tool app, because it is a dictionary. So when you open it, you have that. Okay, word saving. So I'm going to ask, what is faconnable? Faconnable.
Doable.
Did you look?
Façonnable.
Ah, do you mean façonnable? Façonnage? No, that's different.
Façonnable.
I think lily oil pens mean faconnable. Do you mean faconnable? I don't know what the word means, and to be honest, it doesn't come up in my dictionary. So I'm writing it the way you wrote it. Are you sure it's the right spelling, lily oil paint? Are you sure? Because I don't quite know. Now, just to go on to my word reference, I make my pupils here in London laugh a lot because obviously I'm not the God Almighty. I don't know everything, okay? And I admit that quite often, actually. When I do my lessons, okay, I know quite a lot because I have been teaching for many, many years. But I do a lot of research. You've got to understand here. Okay, Lily Allpain say, I saw it in a fashion... fashionable. I'm so sorry, Lily. I don't know...
It's a company.
It's a company name. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. I don't think it must be a proper name. Fashionable, but probably. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying something here. Oh yeah, I am not the God Almighty, though I think I am, but I'm not. So what you do when you are a YouTuber and a French teacher, you do a lot of research when you do your lessons. So I'm going to show you something. Okay, here we go. I'm going to show you something. Now, this is a book I use. Okay, and this is called the Becherel. Can you see that? Okay. Now, it has la conjugaison, l'orthographe, et la grammaire. Okay? Now, you understand what l'orthographe is? L'orthographe means the spelling, okay? La conjugaison means the conjugation, and la grammaire means grammar. Now, this book is not for non-French speakers. It is actually for French speakers to understand their own grammar and how to conjugate their own verbs. Now, believe it or not, okay, Shira for Science says, or Rachel says, the Bible of verb conjugation. Absolutely. Now, French people are funny. Well, some are not, but some are. Now, French people from the age of 6 years old teach you how to conjugate verbs, okay? So you're going to say, well, in English, they don't quite do that. No, they don't. And that's the very difference, okay? Well, it's appearing in primary school more now here in England, but in France, from the age of 6 years old, we learn how to conjugate our own verbs. So if I open my Becherel, and I have a list here in the back of tons of different verbs, okay? And they refer to a page. And then you go to that page, and then you will see, for example, here we've got the verb recevoir, which means to receive. And you will see that this verb is conjugated in all kinds of tenses, from the indicative tenses, present tense, imperfect, passé simple, which is past historic, futur simple, passé composé, plus que parfait, passé antérieur, futur antérieur, and the subjunctive, présent subjunctif, passé subjunctif, imparfait, plus que parfait, and the imperative. So we've got all these tenses that us, as French kids, need to learn. I mean, seriously, who even uses the plus perfect subjunctive? Nobody uses that. So that's what we use. And so when I prepare my lesson, I refer a lot to my Becherel. And my word reference app is great, actually, because it does show you how you conjugate verbs as well. Now, am I answering a question? Was I answering someone's question? I can't remember. Anyway, have we got another question? So we've got, fashionable. Yes, now fashionable could be fashionable, by the way, Lily or Paint. I'm so sorry I can't answer your question. So do we have another question, Adam? Have we got another question, Adam?
I can't see one.
Sorry, just give me 1 second. I'm trying to read here. There's so many of you, and so I'm trying to.
Maddie, but that's more about the website. Maddie Sadie.
Maddie Sadie, hello Maddie. Hi Alex, why you don't attach French songs? So the audio lessons, can you make them video much better and helpful? Thank you for your lessons. Okay. I see Probento is asking something as well. Oh, Bosu, did I forget your question? Okay. Mandy, to answer your question is that the audio lessons are lessons that I used to podcast many years ago. They are very, very good in terms of audio and listening exercise. We are planning on recording them all, as in video recording this year. If that is going to help. But I tell you what, though video is really good as a support, I find that audio lessons are even better because you have to concentrate on your listening. And you will find that in the course anyway, you have many videos as well that you can, play and that supplement the audio lessons. Okay, for example, if I do something on partitive article, which I see that Probando is asking, when do you have to use do or doula, which are called partitive articles, then you will see that I not only do it in the audio lessons, but I also do it on the video lessons. Okay, so they complement each other. Now, to answer probando, okay, the difference between do and doula, okay, it's one is used with a masculine do and the other one is used with doula with a feminine, and they are called they're known as partitive articles, which means that in English they would refer to a word such as some. So if you want to eat some jam, you would say je mange de la confiture, because confiture is a feminine word. If you wanted to eat some bread, you would say je mange du pain. Okay, so du, de la. The other partitive article you might want to know is des, D-E-S. Okay, it's when you use a plural version of that word. Okay, so that's des. Now, Barbel is asking, how about downloading your videos? Okay.
No, I've answered that.
Oh, can you tell me, because obviously, can people see the text?
Yeah.
Can you all see that going on? Okay, that's good. Great community, I love it. Okay, so would you recommend listening to the audio before downloading the PDFs? I often find myself relying too much on the PDF as my reading skills are better. That is a good question. Do you know what? I think you would be able to do that once you have reached a certain level. And I think that for the first 20 lessons, you should actually use the PDF as well as the audio. Oh, did you see? That was Adam's hand. Now, now you should actually, I think, if I were you, I would follow the lessons by using the PDF at the same time. Once you're very confident that you know the main grammatical rules and you understand what I'm talking about, there is a kind of rhythm and you're into it, I would try without the PDF, personally. But again, people learn very differently. I teach in a very grammatical way, and not everybody. People might enjoy learning more in a formulaic way, as in, to learn how to say, please change my tire, it's flat. So you would rather learn that sentence and not know how it works, not know how it was built, okay? Anyway, so sorry, Manal, I would like to ask you, what could be the best strategy to keep moving on with French till I become really fluent? Okay, do you know what, Manal? I have, and I receive an average of hundreds of comments every day, okay, asking me, please make me fluent. How do you do that? Okay, like I said, and I refer back to early on, I am not the God Almighty. I can't obviously do that. What I can teach you is be confident when speaking French. And the more confident you will be, the more people will understand you. And the more people will understand you, the more they will encourage you to speak. Okay, that's my theory, is that if actually you show huge amounts of motivations behind speaking it, even if you can't say much, Yeah, people who respond and respond. And obviously, in order to become fluent, the same way as I am in English, remember, I am not English. Not that my English is perfect, but I have learned by practicing with English people. I have learned by doing, all kind of conversations. Now, my first job here in London was a waitress. I was a waitress. And because I was a waitress, I managed to get by talking to all kind of different people. And accents. Oh my gosh. Accents here in England, it's terrible. There are so many. I don't understand all accents. I need to watch Scottish films with the subtitles, just to tell you how hard it is. A bit you, if you had to watch a French film from Canada, a Canadian film, not French, you would need subtitles, just like I would do, because I don't understand French Canadians all the time. Anyway, so that's okay, Lily Oil Pens, thank you. Marshall, my wife and I have struggled to find a French language program for over a year. Your program is excellent and we really appreciate the structure of the lessons. Merci. Oh, well, thank you. Well, do you know what, Marshall? If you have any problems at all, please, not come here, obviously, but, call me. Okay, we're on the phone all the time. Okay, we're on emails all the time. When I say we, by the way, I'm not the only one working here. Okay, we have Adam working and we have Yana, who's doing an amazing job at answering as many emails when I can't answer them, when it's very technical. I can't do that. Then she answers the emails. And we have Caroline as well. I wish I had pictures to show you what they look like. That would be good. And Caroline is amazing. Now, Caroline is my friend. She's French. And she's the most clever person, I know. No, I'm sure you're all clever. But, she's amazing. She doesn't script. Well, she helps me with my scripts. And she edits all my scripts because I can assure you I make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes here, and obviously it's not always easy. So she often has to correct all my stupid mistakes. Anyway, so any more questions, Adam?
French movies.
French movies, where?
Bercuse. I wonder after finishing 45.
I wonder after finishing 45 lessons, am I going to be able to understand French movies, at least all French? Yeah, I can. I want to say yes. Okay, be very careful with French movies. Some of them have no words. Kind of, je t'aime, moi aussi. And that's it. Okay, so some of them have absolutely no dialogues, which is cool. Some of them speak super fast. And I think if I were you, I would try to use, comedy films, such le Dîner de Con, for example. Maybe, Adam, can you write Le Dîner de Con, or shall I write it down? You do it. Now, Le Dîner de Con, I would recommend that to you because it's, oh my gosh, what a silly film. But it's an amazing film and it's very visual as well, so you wouldn't have much to understand. You would understand the gist of it. And that's the thing. If I were you and I was watching a French film, I would try, before doing that, to get an outline of what the film is about. If you get an outline of what the film is about, the plot, let's say, okay, then for you, it will be easier, I think, to understand the French because you know what's coming next. You know what that guy is going to be killed or whatever, if it's a crime scene or whatever. At least you are you're ready in your head, if that makes sense, and your head is already gearing up to understanding that. And if it has subtitles, even better. I would watch the French film with French subtitles, by the way. and not English ones, because all you do, you actually look at the English subtitles and not necessarily listen to the French, okay? But then again, now Les Visiteurs, that's a good one as well. Les Visiteurs, thanks Rachel, it's a great French movie, and it's, you know, it's hilarious. I watched Les Visiteurs back in 1991, I think, and the main phrase in Les Visiteurs is okay, and I used to say that all the time. Silly, eh? Okay. Now another French films could be Listy, and this is the story of this guy. It's set in the north of France, where it's always very cold, and it's about this guy who works for the post office and works in the south of France, but is sent to the north of France to work. And that's very hilarious, because most of the time he doesn't understand what these people from the north of France say, you know, because of their accent. Listy, okay. Listy, I think Adam is writing as we go along here, you can see the title. So, Le Dîner de Con, Listy, Les Visiteurs, there is La Maison du Bonheur as well, which is really fun. And then you've got some very dark French movies as well, you know, old ones as well. So, Bernardo recommends Mesrine or Mérine, or Mesrine, l'ennemi public numéro 1. It is amazing. It comes in 2 parts, I think, if I remember well. Adam can tell you more about it because he's well into film. But Mesrine is about this 1917 gangster, crook, mafia type of guy, based on a true story. I really would recommend that film as well. But again, it's a different style, you know. And so does that answer your question, Bisou? I hope it does. Now, Roy Harding is saying, I have learned a lot through your YouTube lessons, especially with your wonderful sentences, which are very enlightening, but the words stick. Lentement. Now, to go to that word, Roy, lentement, okay, is obviously an adverb, okay, and lentement means slowly. In French, all the adverbs usually end with ment, M-E-N-T, okay, and in English they end with L-Y. So here's a little trick here, because I really want to teach you something today. If you wanted to say strongly, how would you say that? Okay, you've got 20 seconds. Strongly, and you're not allowed to Google it. Strongly. And meanwhile, I'll come back to this one. Lily says, I have a picture signed by a French artist, and he wrote amicalement. Is this a good way to sign off a letter of email? Okay, that is a really good question, actually. When you write a letter and you want to say regards or all the best or something like that, well, amicalement means friendly. Okay, in the most friendly way, and here ment, M-E-N-T, again, you know, is an adverb. Now you can finish a letter by saying amicalement if it's someone you know already, if that makes sense. You would not ever write a letter of reference or whatever to someone for a job with amicalement. That's not what we say. So we would have some weird sentences such as Je vous prie, madame, monsieur, d'accepter mes salutations distinguées. Why? Je vous prie, madame, monsieur. Can you write that, Adam? No? That's the way you could add this at the end of a letter, yeah. Please accept my distinguished salutations, yeah. Amicalement, it doesn't mean with love. It means best, amicalement, with friendship, if that makes sense, okay? Okay, fortement is the answer of strongly. Well done, you. fortement, fortement, strongly. And how do you do that? How do you form an adverb? Well, you do it by using the adjective, which in case is fort, F-O-R-T. Then you add an E to it. So you put it into its feminine form, and then you add ment. And here you have the adverb, fortement, okay, fortement. So you could do something such as heavily, heavily. So if you know how to say heavy, it's lourd, and then you put it into its feminine form, lourde, and then you add ment, lourdement, fortement, rapidement, clairement, lentement. Okay, so that's the way you form an adverb. Okay.
And lastly, Manal. There's a few people. I would love it.
Manal, I would love it if you post reading passages of short stories and the audio as you read them. We've got that on the website, haven't we, Adam?
Not that much.
These are called the reading. Okay. Are you talking, Manal, on YouTube or on my website? It's a good idea. I already done the reading passage that I do on my website. So if it's on YouTube, the reason why I'm not doing that, by the way, either one. Okay, and Dave agrees. Hello, Dave. Hello. The reason I am not doing it on YouTube, and I'm going to tell you why, and be quite honest about it, it's because not many people might watch it. We tend to have an audience on YouTube which is of beginner's level. I tend to do something of more of that level. Now, if we were to start doing videos of me reading a passage, for example, and giving you the PDF, I don't think we will do as well. Unless I'm wrong, I don't know. You know what? We go to so many hangouts in YouTube. We are invited, to YouTube, and they tell us how good we are doing, well we are doing, and they tell us what we should do next, but they don't tend to tell us what content we need to put. And that would be, but yes, okay, so Adam says, it's a good idea though, we might look into making some. Okay, Adam, he says, behind the camera is, and not, in front. It's easily said. Now, what I'm going to try to work on then, Manal, is see whether we can read a passage of short stories. By the way, obviously we don't have time to write the short stories ourselves because that takes time. If I were to use passages, I am not allowed, for copyright reason, I'm not allowed to use some, passage that are obviously copyrighted, and that's one of the problems. I have contacted lately a lady that writes books, children's book, and from about 40 years back. The books are old. She's still alive. She's actually, quite young, 70 or so. But they are still, they are copyrighted, and I must not post any video with these books unless I ask her permission. Though she completely agrees that I can use them, she says that it's up to the publishing company whether I can use them. So it's difficult unless it is your own material. Music is difficult to use on YouTube, and copyrighted material, songs, stories, Now, if I use stories after the copyright has expired, this is my problem. And I found that because I have done quite many reading passages in the website, is that we tend to have old French here. And having old French is difficult to translate. It's difficult for anybody to think that they'll be able to use this French and go off to the streets in France and be able to use that kind of style of French. So I would say that Yes, it's a good idea if I select the passages properly the way I've done it on my website, by the way. So watch out for this. And yes, if you are not, one of my subscribers, then we could look into it for YouTube as a free material, but obviously not as intense as I do them for the website.
Okay, it's about 50 minutes.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going stories after that. Excellent, thanks. Okay. Any more questions? Because I've got to leave you here. It was obviously a trial. I would like you to tell me, because I intend to do that once a month. I would like you to tell me how you see a hangout with me. What would you like me to do? Would you like it to be more focus on one text and we do one text together? Or I don't know, just think about it. If you can't answer this question now, maybe you could send us an email, and then any ideas that pops in, if you want to cover one grammatical point, I am so happy to do that. Okay. The only problem I have here is that you are all of different levels. Okay, so whereby I can teach you something on subject pronouns, one of you might say, well, I know this already, I don't need to know anymore. So maybe I would think that doing a text together will suit all kind of levels. Well, this is my idea, but you might think, that's not. Anyway, we are going to do that once a month. Okay, for you, my beautiful Patreons, people, and my beautiful listeners out there. And I'm so happy that I got to speak to some of you. It's millions of views here, and I don't know who watches me. And I like to know that you are all hardcore listeners, hardcore learners. It's amazing. So, pleasure to meet you, Marshall. Thank you, Dave. It's really hard. I went all over the place. I realized that I showed you my telephone, and I realized that I showed you my books. Okay. Thank you. You're a great teacher, so that can learn. Well done, and well done. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to say au revoir, and thank you very much for coming into this live hangout. And we'll talk with Adam and see what we need to do better. If you have any requests, please send me an email, okay? Send me an email with any request that you may have, or how you see that it may just turn out, because it was the first, okay? Adam, would you like to come and say hello?
No,
He doesn't want to come. He doesn't want to come. Adam doesn't want to come. I still don't believe I had the opportunity to chat with my favorite teacher. Well, that's a pleasure, Bernardo. A pleasure. À la prochaine. Au revoir. Merci.